They hail it as the era of total access. Every fact, every face, every flickering moment of history and humanity is available, instantly streamed to the polished glass in your palm. It is touted as the ultimate liberation, an endless stream of knowledge and connection. But let's call it what it really is, a synthetic stupor. This engineered overflow is a flawless mechanism of control designed to saturate your attention and sterilize your rebellion. Engaging with life, we are simply processing the torrent. We gorge ourselves on statistics, on viral spectacle, on the manicured reality of others' existences, swallowing until every nerve is muted and the capacity for genuine feeling is drowned out. The true question isn't how much we can consume, but what happens once the saturation point is hit. When the noise fades, there's a hollow echo. That void is where the real inquiry begins. The compelled need to pierce the digital membrane, to find the gritty reality hidden beneath the surface sheen of the curated feed. This is the Binge. We are investigating what survives when the digital signal finally drops.
It's the Binge Podcast where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast.
The illusion of constant busyness. Why we are all faking it. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Let's cut straight to it. I want you to mentally replay the last time someone asked you, "How are you doing?" And I want you to remember your automatic reflexive response. I'm willing to bet that for almost all of you, the first word that flew out was busy. It's the universal cultural tick, isn't it? It's not a description of our current state. It's the only socially acceptable answer. Saying I'm busy is less a statement of fact and more of a deeply embedded status symbol. We wear out exhaustion like it's a designer suit, proof that we are important, that we are in demand, that our lives are so vital the world simply can't spin without our constant input. We're terrified to admit that we have a spare afternoon, or that we actually took an hour off to stare at the ceiling. Because if we're not busy, what the hell are we even doing? We fear that if we admit to having free time, we might be perceived as lazy, disposable, or simply not working hard enough to succeed in this high-octane world. But let's get real. Here is the massive, unsettling question we need to confront. Are we actually busy with truly meaningful, high-impact work? Or are we just fundamentally distracted by sheer chaotic volume? Think about the relentless, frantic rhythm of your typical day. We start the morning in a defensive posture, immediately reacting to the urgent demands of the inbox. You jump from email to text, from one meeting that should have been an email to a quick, shallow task that doesn't matter. We have fundamentally mistaken motion for progress. We've organized our lives to keep our brains constantly occupied, treating our minds like a web browser with 25 tabs open, each one consuming precious cognitive energy just to be kept loaded, even the tabs we haven't clicked on in hours. The constant state of partial attention is the great psychological trick of the digital age. This is what we call context switching, and it's a productivity killer. Every time you pivot from a financial report to a text message to a social media feed, you pay a tax. You hemorrhage focus. This is why our ancestors, despite sometimes working much harder than us physically, rarely experienced this synthetic volume. We're not necessarily working harder, we're simply working less deeply across an ever-increasing number of shallow, surface-level tasks. We've become addicted to the small, fleeting dopamine hit of checking something off a list. The list doesn't even need to contain valuable items. We're just chasing that tiny chemical reward. We've outsourced our self-worth to our calendars. We've optimized ourselves for reaction, for responding, for scheduling, for managing the chaos rather than for creation, for deep thought, for building, for making something new. And this frantic, endless sprint comes at an absolutely brutal cost: burnout and cognitive erosion. When you run a machine red hot for too long, the components degrade. For us, that means our ability to think critically, to solve genuinely complex problems, and to manage our emotions suffers. We get irritable. We make sloppy decisions and we lose access to our best ideas. Chronic busyness isn't a sign of success. It's simply a poor cognitive strategy. It's an unsustainable state that leaves us feeling perpetually behind, exhausted, and yet somehow still deeply unfulfilled. It's a vicious, self-sustaining trap. And there's an even more profound, darker reason for our addiction to activity: the fear of stillness. When we fill every single moment, we leave no space for self-reflection. We use noise, podcasts, notifications, and endless motion as a shield against confronting uncomfortable truths about our lives, our choices, and our values. True quiet time can be absolutely terrifying because it forces us to listen to the unedited, sometimes messy voice inside our own heads. We'd rather do any amount of pointless busy work than face that silence. So what is the legitimate practical antidote to the busy trap? It is not about miraculously finding more time. Time is the one resource that is perfectly, beautifully democratic. Everyone gets 24 hours. The solution is a radical shift in perspective, embracing intentional idleness in the radical act of setting cognitive boundaries. Intentional idleness means that you deliberately block out and defend periods of nothing. Nothing demanding, nothing urgent, nothing connected to your phone. True creativity, the kind of insight that solves big problems, doesn't arrive when you are sprinting through your inbox. It arrives in the space. It arrives during the 20 minutes you spend staring out the window or the hour you spend taking a walk without your headphones in. These are the crucial moments when your subconscious brain processes the data that you've shoveled into it all day long and finally forges those necessary high-value connections. To practice this intentional living, you have to defend your focus like it's your most valuable asset. This means actively batching those low-value tasks like email and social media, so they don't interrupt your deep work sessions. It means learning to say a firm, unapologetic no to obligations that don't align with your core values. When you choose to protect your energy and time, you are not being lazy. You are engaging in a necessary form of productive resistance against the cult of activity. You are choosing deep work and meaningful contribution over the false, shallow comfort of constant motion. Next time someone asks you how you are, try to catch yourself before you reflexively say busy. Maybe you're focused, maybe you're reflective, or perhaps, and this is the revolutionary part, you're simply well rested and ready for the challenges of the day. Let's stop chasing the high of activity and start trading the pathetic badge of busyness for the far more valuable and fulfilling goal of intentional living. That's all for this week's segment. If this resonated with you, try one concrete thing this week. Block out 30 minutes on your calendar. Call it do nothing or cognitive recharge. Guard that time fiercely, put your phone in another room, and observe what thoughts or insights emerge from the silence. You might be surprised by what you realize when you finally stop moving. Let me know how that works out. We'll talk soon. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe.
You know by now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. By now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. podcast, come join us fast. Tune in right now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat, it's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast.